everyone, and I'm assuming that there are going to be kind of a fair less number of people watching this since not everyone is into knitting on BookTube. But I wanted to make this video because I think that overall, you know, BookTube has been awesome, but one of the things it has done is made me neglect my other hobbies. And so one of the commitments, you know, I made once I started reading again in August was to let myself feel free just to listen to an audiobook and knit while I do that. Or just to allow more time for knitting, so to, you know, watch TV and knit, but I'd really been missing it, and I hadn't done it in so long that unfortunately I wasn't really thrilled with much of the yarn stash that I did have, but I, you know, did use some birthday money to order some more yarn, and I have found projects that I'm really excited about. So I have 3 projects on my needles right now. The first I think I'm the most excited about, and I referenced earlier if you were watching my video, this has become my Father Brown project. So I started watching on Netflix the series based on G.K. Chesterton's mysteries about Father Brown, who is a Catholic priest in a small British town and solves mysteries. But the book that I have this pattern from is called The Gentle Art of Knitting. I lost, unfortunately, the sleeve that like went across this. This is by Jane Brockett, and I pretty much want to make everything else in this book. It just has some beautiful, lovely, and elegant items. I think the top priority after this project that I will show you are hot water bottle covers. I've heard that if you do hot water bottles right, they stay warm until the morning. So that just sounds so cozy to have a hot water bottle at the end of the bed in the winter time. So yes, so the project I am doing is this big woolly jumper. And I want a big woolly jumper because when I'm a lot bigger this winter and, you know, I have more girth in my stomach, I want to just have something like so cozy to wear around the house. This was my first sweater I had ever made. And I just love the look of this because even though it is big, I still think it looks pretty like elegant and classy. So the yarn that I picked is a Lion Brand yarn. I also felt really conflicted about using acrylic yarn for it because everybody that I watched on knitting podcasts, like not many of them knit with acrylic yarn, and then eventually I'm like, just forget it. I really like this yarn. It will be washable. So I made the first panel. What you do is you do the front and the back, and then eventually you make the sleeves and you sew in the sleeves, which I think I could actually just pick up the sleeves on the side. So I'll try to show you. It's kind of hard because it's so big, but here's the bottom of it, and I really love the reverse garter stitch here. I think that's so beautiful. And then you have stockinette stitch going all the way up. This is like very big and stretchy. So there's not much shaping to this. It does start to, towards the end, you know, it starts to go up a little bit, but really not much shaping. So I'm really thrilled this was the first sweater I did because it was a really, it didn't feel intimidating. And then the top, it's this loose like cowl neck turtleneck. And so it was like a, what am I trying to say? I think it was a knit one, purl one. I think that's what it was. And so yeah, I'm really pleased, and I ordered the other yarn. It's coming, and so I cannot wait to get back to this. And also, I think for sweater also, it's really great to knit with a chunky yarn because this went incredibly fast. I was sad, honestly, at how fast it went. And so yeah, this was, the decreases, I really like how they look there. I just think that looks really nice. So to, you know, hook the sleeves up to that, I think will be really pretty. So yes, not much shaping to it, but I don't want shaping on this. I want it to be just a big, comfy one I wear at home and just am all bundled up in when it's like freezing and snowing outside, and oh, it'll just be so cozy, comfy. So this is the Lion Brand yarn, and the color I know is Moss Mix. I cannot remember the name of like the specific type of yarn, unfortunately. So can't remember that, but yes, definitely very excited about that. Okay, then the next one, and I think these are going to end up being for a friend, but I finally got around to using this beautiful, like, pink purpley fuchsia variegated yarn on a pair of socks. And these are, BookTube will appreciate this, these are the Hermione's Everyday socks. So I got all excited, and well, I made a lot of errors on this, but finally, after taking it out a lot of times, I finally got it right. And then I turned the heel, and then I just got, because it was pretty baggy, honestly, when I tried it on. So I'll need to find a pattern that fits me better. So I think these are going to go to a friend. But I just really like them and the colors in them. And I just love the how the pattern has worked with the yarn. I think the pooling doesn't look too much. It almost looks striped. So I'm very happy with these. I think they'll be very squishy and comfy, but I just got a little bored, I guess, with it, which is so weird that I would get bored after turning the heel. So definitely don't want to have second socks syndrome either. So maybe I'll force myself after I finish it just to cast on at least the next ones. And then the final one, and this one has been a doozy. I just decided, like, this summer I want to learn how to do brioche stitch. There was a hat I was going to do with that yarn actually, and another one. And it just kept failing and it didn't look good. And so then I was like, forget it. I'm going to do brioche stitch for something else. And I happened upon this 2-color brioche cowl. And I know, like, brioche stitch is one of those ones that's like really, it's a hurdle for a lot of knitters. So then to make it 2-color, but I saw this cowl and I'm like, I have to have it. It's a Purl Soho pattern. I'll link it. And you can make a matching hat. And for those of you who know brioche stitch, I think it's really beneficial for knitters to know about it because it feels as squishy as crochet. But I don't know how to crochet. I don't know if I'll ever learn. And so it was really neat. I feel like it's this like shortcut. That same thing for those who only crochet, that Tunisian crochet looks like knitting. So I just really was very motivated. And so, you know, first I had to learn how to do brioche stitch, and then I had to learn how to do 2-color brioche stitch, and then how to do it in the round. But this is my cowl thus far. I am so thrilled with it. It has to be 9 inches, I think. It's 218 stitches cast on. So I have it on needles that are like way too short for it, but I didn't have longer ones. So I'm doing this kind of like gray color, and then this glorious like peachy pink that has flecks of gold in it. And so then what is also really spectacular about brioche stitch is that it's reversible. So here's this side, but then, ta-da, here's the other side. So it's so great. I think especially for scarves, it would be really cool to make something this squishy. So squishy. I just love it. So I'll be really, really thrilled. And I think it took me, honestly, about 40 hours to learn how to do brioche stitch, then 2-color brioche. And I had to take this out 3 times because I kept doing it wrong, but I really wanted this cowl. So it's a really great project now because I don't even have to look at the pattern. It's just, because it's in the round, I just have a knit row and a purl row. The purl row is the pink color and the knit row is the gray color. So it's going to look so cool when it's done, and it'll look really good with my nice winter coat, and then I think I'm going to make the matching hat. So I'm very happy about that. The other knitting I have planned, I definitely want to finish that sweater, the comfy sweater. So I just have the other panel and the sleeves to make. And then I also want to, I ordered a bunch of the Lion Brand Fisherman's Wool, and I want to make just really excellent winter hats for myself and my son and my husband, and really warm winter wool socks for all of us, including the new baby that will be here. I want them to come into the world having really warm wool, you know, to keep them warm. So yes, those are all the projects I have. And I hope you enjoyed this for those of you that do knit, and I will see you guys for probably a more bookish video soon.